Hello everyone, welcome back to our Python programming course. In the previous lecture, we learned about modules and packages. We explored Python's built-in modules like math, random, and datetime. And we also learned how to create our own modules. Today, we are going to learn another very important topic, which is file handling in Python. Until now, all the data we used in our programs disappeared as soon as the program ended. For example, if user enters their name in the input function, for example, I show you like this: if name equals input, enter name, and then I'm gonna print it, print name 1, and then I run it, and I write a name. For example, Rahul gets printed, but then if I again run it, my program start from the beginning. The Rahul data was deleted from here. So after closing the program, all the information was lost. But if we want to save the information permanently, we use files in the Python. So what is a file handling? File handling is the process of creating files, reading data from the files, writing into files, and updating existing files. Also, we can delete the files using file handling. Almost every software application uses file handling. For example, saving student records, banking transaction histories, employee information, login details, game progress, and chat messages. Now, types of files. There are mainly two types of files, which is text file and binary files. Text file includes a .txt extension. For example, if you go in your file explorer and name something like student data .txt, and then you hit enter, a text file will be generated where you can enter any text. Also, there are binary files. For example, there is a JPG file, MP4 files, MP3 files, and PDF files. These are known as binary files, which store data in the binary format. In this lecture, we will only focus on text files only. So, to open a file, Python provides an open function. You can do that by using, if you have created any file, for example, I'll make a file here, student, or I'll make it here, student.txt. Okay, I'll make here I am student. Now I go into my main Python file and I try to open it using a variable. I'll name it as a file. File equals to open, and then the name of the file, which is student.txt, comma, and then the mode of the file, if you want to read or write or just use the both. I'll use the read by using R. Now I hit enter. As there is no file exist in our IDE, so it just gives a empty bar. If you make in your file explorer, it will definitely show you that inside of the text file. Now there are 5 modes, which is read, write, append, create, and read and write both, which is R for read, W for write, A is used for append, X is for create, and R plus is for read and write both. Now if you want to print, likewise we have used file here, we can print the inside of the file using print file.read. Now again run it, let's check. Yes, now it's working. I am a student, I have made a text file here, so it's accessing the file through the Python using open and .read command or function. Now it's generally advised to after reading the file you should also close it, so I'll close it down, the file.close, to close our file. When you are using a large program, you should also close it, which may help you in also saving your resources and data corruption. Now we'll move forward to a write mode, which write mode creates a new file. If file already exists, its all contents are erased, so remember that. We'll make another file called student1.txt and mode will be write. Now I'll write something in your file, file.write, and I'll write here hello world, I am a coder, and then we'll run it now. It has, I think it has done its work. Now we'll again check it by printing file.read. Let's check whether it's running or not. Okay, so our ID is not allowing us to make a file here. Let's add it into existing one. Now let's check it. File.write programming. Now if I file.close, so it's basically it's not allowing us to write into the file here. So but the concept is you can do it by just using the write mode and using the .write. You can write anything into the file. Now I'll proceed to the next. This is the very basic one, but if you want to write multiple lines, you can also do that using the /n, which we already discussed, so we'll not discuss that. Now there is append mode, because if we already have 2 lines of code which have something printed in it, for example this I am a student and I am a coder, something like this, and we want to add some line again, but we don't want to remove the old data. We can use append mode just by writing here file.open and switch it into a append mode. You're writing a here, then file.write, write anything, I know coding, I'll make a new line here, and file dot close here, I'll close it. Now it has successfully done it, but here it is not confirming here. So basically, if you will do it in your own device, it will basically add this line into this text file at the number 3 line. So append is only used to add another data without deleting the existing one. Now reading line by line, which can be done by using readline function. Suppose file contains exactly same three to 4 lines, but we want to read the only the first line or second line. We can read the line by using dot readline function, which only reads the particular line. For example, if I switch it to read mode here, read mode, and I want to print something, read line, again I run it, I am a student. If I again print it, it will print the next line, I am a coder. If I again run it, now it will print the white spaces. What if we do like this? Oh, it's giving us an error. So readline is basically used for printing the lines in sequence. Now for reading all lines, we use read line with S. If you want to print all the lines, use S here also. Now it will read all the lines and print into the same read dot line. Now we'll read using the loops. How? By opening the file and then using a for loop. Suppose we have opened a file here and using for loop, print I. Now again run it. I am a coder student and I am a coder. So loops can be used to print all the document. This is preferable for using if you are dealing with the large files. Now using with statement instead of manually closing the files, Python provides with. How? With using with here, I'll comment it down, with open student.txt in a read mode or as a file. Now I'll print it. File.read. Okay, it's not printing down. Okay, we have to also print it. Print file dot read. Okay, now we're done. Yes, so instead of writing file.close every time by using this, you don't need to close the program, as after using the program it automatically closes itself. Now proceeding further, you check whether file exists or not. We can also find out by using the same with open, as if we want to know whether student, for example student 1 is not there in our ID, so we'll check whether it's available or not. As you can see here, file not found error, no such file or directory, student 1 exists. So we can also check it by whether it exists or not. Let's check student.txt exists. Yes, exists, so it prints out. Now for creating new file, you can use the X mode here. How? You can use simply file open, name your file something, new student, comma X here, and now you can create anything in this file once it's created. For example, I want to now close the file. Also, if I want to find out whether this file now exists or not, I can check with open, new student. I'll also add a format here, new student.txt, comma R as file, and print it file.read. Now let's check it. So this file exists, so no error is there, so our file is basically created here. If it doesn't exist, it will raise an error. So now we'll do a practice question, which will be making a student record. Firstly, you have to take name and marks of the students, then make a file, or if you already have a file, use it and append all the information of the students into that file using the dot write and print it. Let me show you how to do that. For example, I have name of the student, input, enter name, now enter name here, and then marks. Now I'll make a file here. With open, I'll save it to a new student.txt file or the student.txt, student.txt into append mode, as file is already created here. As file, now I'll write file dot write, name and marks, name plus, here is their name, then will be their marks, and then a new line, /n. Okay, yes, like this. Now I'll print all the records, print file.read. Now let's check whether they are working or not. Enter name Rahul, marks 50. Okay, it has exited, so I just make some changes here and run it. Okay, so it's not readable enough. Let's check if it's printing or not. Print record saved. If it's use get or not, 50. Okay, so now it's working. If I print it again, print file.read. It's giving us a value error. Okay, now let's proceed to another one, because ID is not working as we want. But if you do it in your terminal or your system, it will get updated as you enter the details of the students. Let's check it once more time. It should work. Okay, oh yeah, it's working now. Basically the program was exiting here, so I again came into the read mode. What can I do is I can print a new line here. Okay, now Rahul 50. If I come into a new line, then again okay, now it's working. Rahul has marks as 50. So now we'll make a counting of words. How can we do that? If we have a file, for example, I'll use the same file here. with open student.txt. I'll open into read mode. Then what can I do is I can just read it. A equals to file.read. Now it's perfect. So I'll make another as any variable you can make, and then split all the text from the file. A.split. Split will do is break all the characters in the file so that we can calculate its length. A.split. Now we'll print the length of s. As you can see here, 7 is there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So we can count words using the file operation. Now for copying one file to another, we can also do that by opening up one file into a read mode and then writing that into another file. How can we do that? Let's see. I'll take the same file, I'll read it, and then I make another file here, std txt. I'll make another file here, and then I'll open it into a write mode with open std.txt write mode as file1, and now I'll write it the data here. File1 dot write a. Now we'll run it. Our code has ran successfully. Now if we check again with open std.txt in read mode, print file.read, now we'll run it. As you can see here, std.txt now contains I am a student and I am a coder. So our coping is also working perfectly. Now that's enough for today. Now we'll proceed to the common beginners mistake people make today. Now mistake number 1 will be opening a file that doesn't exist, as we have already discussed in the example number 2, I think, where we changed the file name and it gave us a file not found error. Now mistake number 2 will be writing the mode accidentally, because sometimes you want to read the file but instead you write w, so it the file comes into the write mode. So remember that. Now number 3 will be using write instead of append, because if you use append, you can modify the file and add any text. But if you use w instead, aw instead, your file data will all be vanished, and you have to write simply insert the data again. Now mistake number 4 will be forgetting to close the files. If you open the file and read it, and you have to also close it. But if you don't want to close again and again the similar all the files, you just can use the with open student.txt r as file and read it or print it. It will be a much better way. Now mistake number 5 will be trying to read from a file opened in write mode, which I've already discussed. You can't do that, it will give you an error. Now there is no homework today. We only discussed about reading, opening and writing and appending in the files using Python. Now we'll summarize today's lecture. Now we have discussed today is what is file handling, text files and binary files, opening of files in Python. File modes are reading, W writing, A is append, and X is creating them. Reading, readline and readlines also. Using loop with files, using with statement, counting lines and words, copying files, and some common beginners mistakes. Now, file handling allows Python programs to store information permanently, making application much more practical and useful. It is an essential skill for building real-world softwares. In our next lecture, we'll learn about exception handling in Python. We'll understand how to prevent programs from crashing using try, except, else, and finally, and how to handle common runtime errors gracefully. Thank you for watching. Practice read and write texting files and try extending the any examples I have discussed today, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you. Peace out.